Welcome back to another episode of Tangents and Shenanigans. I am here with Nick again, and we are
What up?
live. We
We
are
are back
on the
from our
air.
hiatus, and we're still alive, and we're still not canceled
That's
yet.
right. Not
Anyways, but
canceled yet.
tonight might press us because you'll see. We won't want to spoil the
Yeah, don't
fun.
give anything away, Nick, and don't fucking say it. So,
I'm
um,
not.
well, one thing I did want to go over before we get into the part two of this discussion is go over some scenes from the first movie that I just totally forgot, and there was it was some of my favorite scenes, but um, anyways, they came to me now. I just wanted to go over them real quick, and then if there was anything that you wanted to add from the first movie, now would be the time. But
Yeah.
specifically, it's the one scene where Neo gets captured by Agent Smith in the beginning of the
Oh
film
yeah.
when he's
Huh.
trying to escape on that balcony with the
Right.
help
Right.
of
Right.
Morpheus.
Yeah.
The agents are right on his tail, so they capture him, and then it cuts to like Trinity on like a bike, and she's like, "Shit!" Like they caught him. But then we cut to the interrogation room, and Agent Smith is like asking Neo or Thomas Anderson, right? His
hmm
alias, like, hey, we know who you're talking to on the phone, and we know his name is Morpheus, and we'd like you to give him up, and blah blah blah. And Neo's like, well, that sounds like a great idea, but I have a better one. How about I give you the finger, and you give me my phone call? And I love that line because Agent Smith is just like smiling, and he's like, Mr. Anderson, what good is a phone call if you are unable to speak? And then all of a sudden something weird starts happening in his mouth, and it like closes up, and I'm like, dude, this is
Oh
terrifying. Do you remember that
yeah.
scene?
That scene was trippy, especially like if you really think about it now with how CGI was and how his
Mm-hmm.
mouth went completely gone like this. That was trippy. That was
It was
trippy.
trippy.
Yeah.
It's just as trippy as like the glass mirror scene when he's like touching it.
Oh yeah, where he like
Um,
slowly goes in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Giggity. But they but yeah, like that scene, like the lead up to that, and then like the little mechanical squid going in like his belly button, like that is it gets you, I don't know, it makes your
You
skin
feel
crawl.
it. You feel the squid.
You do. You
Yeah.
do. It's almost like watching one of those like videos where someone gets kicked in the nuts. Like any guy will feel that.
Oh, dude.
Any guy will feel that.
Dude, you know what's funny? Just for a quick point, like I'll do that shit to my dad. Like I'll find a video where someone gets like fucking, hit in the nuts or skewered in the nuts, and I'll show him, and he'll just drop down in fucking
Skewered?
pain. Yeah, like I saw this one
What
video
kind
of a
of
guy
videos are
fishing.
you watching?
No, I'm just saying, like there's like a fishing net. No, I'm just saying, like you see those videos of a guy fishing, and the hook gets stuck in his balls or something, and he's doing the tug, and you're just like, oh god.
I've never seen one of those. I've seen it like in the hand, but
Yeah, I don't know.
don't send me those. I don't want to be
I'm not.
scarred.
I'm not.
I don't want to be scarred.
Oh
Oh
fuck.
god. But no, that scene got to me. And then uh, is there any that you're thinking of from the first one?
Uh okay. Probably the one thing I am thinking about is the ending of how he fucking flies
Yeah,
to to the sky.
corny.
And dude, I don't know what it is, and I thought about it like just the other day. It reminds me of like those old music videos of like the fucking Backstreet Boys where they're doing the I want it that way. And they do the little tell me why, and that's the whole Superman
Like
slow mo.
superimposed,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then the
Just that
camera like
it
pans
just
away from
felt
them.
like the ending to like a music video or some shit. I don't know. That's what the vibes I was getting from
It
it,
was the ending to like a Rob Zombie music video from back then.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Did you know? Here's an interesting fact. So Lawrence Fishburne was
Oh.
actually on Neil deGrasse Tyson's podcast Star Talk, but I do listen to it from time to time. And they were talking about this movie, and that uh, one thing that they were like referencing is uh, the the scene where Neo meets Trinity for the first time.
Mhm.
It was actually like a sex club that they filmed in. which
Oh, really?
explains a lot of like the leather, outfits and the
Oh,
black and the like the strobe lights and everything. And then in the
yeah.
background, I think Rob Zombie's song, do you remember how it goes? Burn in the winter,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Dracula. I have no idea the lyrics, but dude, that's a good song.
Yeah, it is.
I
It
don't
is.
even
It
know what
is.
they're
Yeah.
saying. Um, is it saying jugular? What is he
uh,
saying? I feel like I need to look up that song now. I'm on a roll. Hang on.
do it.
Intermission one.
Yeah, intermission one. This is where usually our
I
sponsors
thought it was
comes
called
in.
Dracula.
I think it
Draggy
is. Yeah, yeah.
Dragula.
Dragging your balls. Yeah.
Oh, it's a car.
Yeah, it's a car. Yeah, right.
Dragula. Oh, that's funny. Okay. The end.
The end.
Um but no, I thought that was kind of interesting because like you don't really see a whole lot in the background. You just like are focusing
Right.
on them and like Trinity is like saying to him like I know why you stare at your computer at night and I know what you're looking for. I was looking for the same thing.
Yeah.
And anyways, okay. So if there's no other elements in the first film, we can move on to Matrix Reloaded, which will be very brief because there's only a
Yeah,
few things that we really
because
wanted to go over
because
in that film.
if in all honesty, the second one was like to me was a setup movie where it just set everything up perfectly, but wasn't like my top of the middle of the three. Like if I were to like rank the movies, it'd be like three, one, and two, if that made sense. So
Dude, that's mine. That's
yeah,
mine.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
And I just watched it the other day too. The Matrix Revolutions.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Nice.
I had it on in the background while I was doing some stuff on the computer. I'm like, yeah. I kept like looking back at it
I
and I'm
was
like,
watching
okay, fuck
certain
this.
scenes again, just there are certain moments where I'm just like, yeah, yeah,
Once
they're
it got
great.
once it got to the part um where Neo I better not even anyways.
We're not
Yeah,
even on part three yet.
I
We'll
was
get
I was
there
watching it
later
the
in the
other day.
show. Yeah, later in the show
Okay.
after our 10th intermission.
Okay, so back from intermission one. So The Matrix Reloaded came out in 2003, but actually came out in May. And then the third movie comes out not only what, May? How do I do math? June,
Five.
July, August, September, October. Yeah, 5 months later. When, let's just think about that for a second. When has there ever been a sequel release that close to each other within the same year?
The Matrix.
Besides that,
I can't think
can
of
you think
any.
of any? I can't.
Well, actually, maybe I can. The only thing I could probably think of is maybe uh, like children movies that we used to watch. Maybe like those old ones, like Land Before Time, because they were swinging those ones over and over again. Remember?
They were pumping those out. Oh, dude, I get so nostalgic of that first movie. If I watch that now as an adult, I'd
Oh,
probably cry throughout
dude,
the
you know
whole
what?
movie.
Dude, you know what I found out? So remember the whole every the dogs go to heaven movie, and you know how that
Oh, don't tell
girl
me. I,
just
I already
so
know. I
yeah
already
so
know.
well just so that girl who
I
you
already
know
know what you're gonna say.
well
Yeah.
she also voiced Ducky.
Did she really?
Yeah, I found that out this week. She voiced Ducky too. That's
That
a
scene.
fucking I
You know how many
I
takes?
know.
You know how many
Yeah,
takes it took? It was like
yeah.
51 something takes that the actor had to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
after what had happened to
yeah.
her. That's so terrible.
Apparently, she voiced Ducky as well. So that's that was like a double stinger, and I found that out like this week, and I'm like, fuck.
I honestly, I know we're going off on a tangent here,
But this is yeah.
but I don't know if I have the strength to like go back and watch the first Land Before Time.
I I can't.
It's really sad. Like if I start talking about it right now, I will start crying.
That's why I
Um,
stopped.
the the s-
uh,
the second one though, I remember being pretty
yeah.
good because it had that one brontosaurus with the scar, and I'm
I
like,
I think
dude,
the best one was when fucking
don't say
Spike finally
3.
talked. No, when Spike finally talked, and he's like, "Mama." It
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
gets me every
Wait,
time.
doesn't he
When
say
yeah,
Sarah?
no,
He
he
says
says
mama?
yeah, I think he says "mama" or "ducky"
Which
or
one
something.
is that?
The one where it was frozen, like fire and ice, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was
I
like the
probably
8th.
didn't
It was
see
the
that
8th
one.
one. It was the 8th one, and Spike finally
8!
talked. Yeah,
8!
yeah,
I
8.
I think
Yeah.
I think I only
There's
watched
like 12 or
3.
13, dude. There's a whole pack of them.
Yeah, I think I only watched 3 because, the
Oh,
3rd
you gave
one
up.
was
Yeah.
the volcano one, right? And there was,
Yeah,
like,
it
those other
was The
raptors?
Great Giving and The Great Canyon. I don't know.
The
Yeah,
Great
there's
Burning?
a
Was that what the 3rd one was called?
The Great Burning.
I
The
just
Great
remember
Destruction.
the Great
Uh,
Destruction, the Great Beyond.
no. Well, they did do like, oh god, they did those funny, like, those Magic Tree House books where they're kind of like play
Oh,
on
I love
words.
those,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's how those movies felt like the Day of the Flyers or some shit with little Aerodactyl ones or whatnot. So yeah.
Mm. Yeah, those books take me back too. Okay, we gotta get back
I
on
know,
track.
we're rolling
We're
it
talking
back,
about the
ladies and gentlemen.
we're
Nostalgia time is over.
we're rolling back the time back when we were talking about The Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah, because The
So
Matrix is better.
it is interesting though that they came out like 5 months apart because like going back to what you were saying earlier, um the second film, even though it's not our favorite in on the list, there are some really important details that are
Scenes, yeah.
discussed in
Hmm.
this film. But it does feel like a one giant buildup to the third act.
Yeah.
And I'm
Hmm.
okay with that.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
it was I know for me when I was watching it with you, I felt like there was a lot of information taken, and I'm glad we watched the movies back to back to back just so I
yeah.
could kind of grasp everything. Because remember how when I went into the third movie and I started to put pieces together, that was because I was able to watch both those movies close together. Because that second movie, I felt like there was so much information to be retained of, especially the characters that they introduced in the second one, especially.
Mhm.
So, especially the
Right.
key players, of course.
Emphasis on key
Yeah,
players.
key players, yeah.
So so the second movie, it starts out with we have a new operator. It doesn't show Tank's death in the first movie because he most likely survives those wounds he received from Cypher shooting him with the electricity rifle. Or and I know that Link, the new operator, knew Dozer and is married to Dozer's sister.
Yeah, mhm.
And so Link is our new operator, and he's actually pretty cool. We do like
Yeah,
Link. We grow to like
yeah.
Link. And but I just kind of missed Tank, and I don't always love the off-screen deaths, but
Oh, yeah.
it is implied that Tank does die before Matrix Reloaded, basically because he's not there. But he's not really referenced. So leading up to Reloaded and how it starts, we have Neo now with this new Superman complex, even though
Oh,
he
yeah.
is technically like the messiah of the Matrix in this
Mhm.
sixth.
6th iteration.
So he's kind of flying around, and there are other agents that are looking for him, obviously, and other people that are jacked into the Matrix. What do I want to say?
I know
Because I'm
you
trying
wanna say it. I know you wanna say it.
to the mare vagina.
Yeah,
Um,
the mir
I said it. I said it. I
Oh,
said
he
it.
said it! Sorry, just for context, this dude's name is the hardest to pronounce. We were going at it for like 5 minutes straight, and I accidentally called it the marrow vagina because of how it's. Nate, do you want to say what you did with your piece of paper while trying to spell it out earlier?
Man, during the pre-show edits, Nick was getting me fucked up because I was trying to write down these names, and one of them in this movie is the Merovingian. Merovingian. It's a really hard name to pronounce, but when he was saying it, he's like Merovagina, and I'm like writing it, and I write Merovagina, and I'm like, God damn you. Can we say that on YouTube?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Dude,
Okay.
we've already.
People show it. People
Yeah.
show.
Whoa! What do you mean show it?
So some of the key players in this movie are
There's four
one.
of them. There's four of them.
We're introduced. Okay, help me out if I miss any. We have the keymaker, right?
Yep.
And then we have the architect, which is the person that ends up
oversees everything pretty much. Like he oversees the what would you call it? Like he's like the God's eye, if you want to kind of call it that. Like he kind of oversees all
in Fallout game terms, he's the overseer of the vaults.
Yeah.
And he's watching everyone's actions on these telemonitors and telescreens in this pure blank white room. And he's, obviously he designs the different versions of the Matrix and
or for people now, or for people who are younger, like if you guys watch Loki, the Timekeepers, if that makes sense, like the little monitors and stuff, just to keep it simple.
There you go, kiddies. Whoever's out there.
Yep.
And then we have the two. Well, here's the other thing: the two twins, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever wonder about those? Because I found out something about them.
No. What?
The two ghost twins are actually from the nightmare realm of the Matrix, and I think it coincides with the version of the Matrix where fear was instilled to control the humans, and and then they rejected that version. I don't know if that's the nightmare it's referring to, but
maybe
that's my C minus average research skills for you.
Oh, there you go. Well, my research level is non-existent.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, you're doing better than me.
Okay, and then we have the Merovingian. God, why is that name so hard to say?
You could call him the Meridian if you really want to, and just tell people for context who the hell we're talking about.
From Horizon Forbidden West. Wait, no. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
Meridian.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Going forward, everyone, the Verizon is going to be called the Meridian.
Who?
The
Merovagina?
No, I said
the Merovingian.
No, I said the Verizon God damn it. Okay, I want to this is my rant. No, this is part of the show, and I want you to keep it. Whoever thought of that fucking name should be fired.
It was probably the Wachowski sisters. Wait a minute. The O'Reilly's
Auto Parts.
I'm done. I'm getting out.
We're clocking out, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.
Get back here, dude. We have a movie to finish. Before we get off the rails. Okay, so yeah, the Ghost Twins, and then we have
the Oracle.
The Oracle. And before she changes actor, right? Before the actor changes.
Yes. Yeah. The simulation, right? Yeah.
And here's the thing. There's something about that actress that plays the Oracle in Matrix 1 and 2 that she just, I don't know what it is, but she seems like someone you would know. She has like a familiar aura about her. And I don't know, I just like that that actress that played her. Her name is Gloria Foster. Oh, she died. Oh, dude, you want to know why they changed?
Why?
It's because she died in 2001.
Oh.
That's why
Man,
they
I'm
had
getting
to do.
sad again,
I'm sad
dude.
now. I'm like sad, like Land Before Time sad now.
Yeah.
I just
I
found that
remember the
out. Well,
cutscene. This is
R.I.P.
rushed.
Gloria Foster.
Yeah.
Wow. I always wondered, like, why they changed the actress
Well, it's
for the
almost like,
Oracle.
Harry Potter and Dumbledore. They had to change out the
Yeah,
actors. Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, who are we missing?
Uh
What?
the wife of the Verizon Meridian.
Yes. Um, Monica Bellucci plays the
Persephone, right?
yes, Persephone. Yeah, Persephone.
She was the wife, and remember, she wanted to get back at him because of his infidelity or whatever the fuck you do when you fuck
Yeah,
around. Yeah.
part of it was that because she caught him. I mean, it's discovered later in the film that he was having a little fun in the bathroom stall with like another
Yeah.
woman, and she
Mm-hmm.
like catches that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's why I noticed like the perfume or the shade of lipstick or whatever she says." There's a tale that she finds out,
Yeah.
but no, you could tell that that relationship wasn't genuine. The Merovingian like didn't
No.
really love her. Um,
No, because
but
he
she
was he was only in it for himself of what he wanted to do. Because remember,
mhm.
we don't realize until was it a little there that he's actually his own type of AI on his own agenda, kind of like how Smith is pretty much. Like he's you would call it a rogue AI in a sense, right? Where he has
Well,
his own
rogue
agenda. Yeah,
program. Yeah.
yeah, his own program. Yeah.
Well, the I'm trying to find something about him. Merovingians were the ruling dynasty of the Franks from the 5th through the 8th centuries.
Hmm.
And the Franks, ruled much of what's, now known as modern France, and parts of Germany in the lower countries, lower
Oh, yeah,
southern
yeah,
countries.
yeah, yeah.
Merovingian Francia was one of the most powerful successor states of the Roman Empire, and it is from the state of the modern nation of France that ultimately descends. The Merovingian kings were noted by their exceptionally long hair, especially in contrast of the short-haired Romans. So they were almost looked as like highly upon back, like
Mhm.
in historical
Right, 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 right.
presentation. So it's interesting that even though we're not going to talk about it, it's interesting that in the most recent Matrix movie, he's like a hobo with the long hair.
Right, yeah. The
Mm.
train man. Yeah.
The train man's a Merovingian too. Look at that.
Yeah, look at
Um,
that. He's highly regarded.
so Neo has a dream of Trinity dying.
Mhm.
So he's kind of left with this like aching feeling that something bad is going to happen to Trinity, and he's not going to be able to be there to stop it from
Yeah,
happening.
because he has the idea that because of what he knows, he thinks a lot is already predetermined. And I think
Hmm.
that's what is bugging him, meaning and we all have dreams of certain things, but to him, it's like, is this a predetermined thing that's actually going to happen?
What is that called? Predestination?
Yeah. Or the
So,
future?
or the future, or
Hindsight,
fate,
I guess. I
or
don't know.
fate, fate,
Fate.
a dark
Fate
fate.
has chosen you to die.
Dun-dun-dun,
Nah.
dun, dun,
Da, da, da.
dun.
Oh god, we'll get
Okay,
into that later too.
so with that, oh look at that leg action.
I was looking
What
at the green dots on your head.
Oh, that's from my little spaceman projector.
Oh
I try to
yeah.
put it out of the way, but you can still see the stars
Yeah,
on it.
you moved and you put your head right there and you had like a green target on your head like you're about to get shot. We got
Wait, where is
Moon
it?
Man over here. Oh god, we're already fucked.
Incoming. Okay, so anyways, yeah, Neo has this dream, and he's kind of haunted by it throughout the movie. So part of himself is conflicted, and he doesn't quite reveal that to Trinity, but he does address his concerns, like, whatever you do, like, don't go into the like, don't go into the Matrix with us, like, don't go along
Yeah.
on this
Yeah.
mission. And obviously, she's like, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm my own person. I'm gonna do
Hmm.
whatever I want.
Yeah.
And which she should. We're introduced to more Smiths, right?
Hmm.
Ever since the last movie, when Neo defeated Smith, Agent Smith now is a free programmed virus in the Matrix, and now not only he can move freely and infect NPCs in the Matrix and turn them into other Smiths. So now he's even more powerful. But to Neo, Neo now kind of has his niche, and he knows how to fight him. He's defeated him before. Now he can take on 10. And here's and when Neo goes to see the Oracle for the second time,
Yeah.
they meet in that little like apartment park
Yeah.
something by a
It's like a little
bench,
complex park area. Yeah.
and they exchange some words, and I love the bit with the candy. She's like, offering him candy, and he's like,
Yeah.
you already know if I'm going to take it or not. So what does it matter? She's like, you taking is like she basically says, like, it doesn't matter whether you take it or
Yeah.
not. Like, you've already made the decision. You just need to understand why you did it. You know.
Yeah.
So, um, and I thought that was still a powerful line, and
Yeah.
I mean, it makes us think about, like, in current times, like, if you have like deja vu, or if you have like certain dreams of you doing something or living like a different life, you're like, should I be doing that? Or
Well,
why
you know
am
what
I
it
doing
is
what I'm
too?
doing?
It just shows that a full day, we make so many decisions. And even though most of those decisions are super small, they can
Hmm.
have either, big effects or medium effects, depending on how you see it. But each one, though, is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all like building blocks to what we eventually become. And that's also one of the things that, it's how I look at regrets. It's like, how can you, I mean, obviously people have regrets, but if you didn't have certain things that happened to you in the past, and understanding that
Yeah.
you wouldn't be the same person that you are today, and if you like who you are today, like, would you change anything? It's kind of like,
Yeah.
it's kind of that paradox that we create.
Hmm.
um
Definitely agree on that.
but I will say, like, because you were mentioning this in the part one episode, with that fight scene with Agent Smith and all
Yeah,
that.
I that whole I you know what, for me
It's
the fight
funny.
scenes, it's fun and funny, but this one it was neat to see that because Neo felt like he was on not necessarily a pedestal with what he
This
has,
motherfucker
like,
was
with his
on cloud
powers,
nine.
but yeah, but with this fight scene that happens after he speaks with the Oracle, and Smith kind of shows him his new moves, as we could kind of put it. It kind of shows Neo like, hey, I'm still kind of the guy running the show here, and I'm gonna kind of knock you down a few knocks to kind of show you like, hey, you're not the big cheese on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I
It's
like,
cool.
because it's like I like where it's like, okay, you have the main hero, right? He got to a point where he's, like you mentioned, he's on cloud nine. He's feeling good about himself in terms of like his attributes of what he can do. But then Smith is still that little, thing that keeps popping up and showing him like, hey, you may be up here, but I'm still here hovering around you, ready to
Right.
just fucking take your ass.
I'm still a speed bump on your path.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much like, hey, you got to get through me if you really want to be, number one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And uh and like, I don't know, some of the sound effects during that, like with the bowling pins, I'm like, dude, really? Like, now you just
Yeah.
made this extra cheesy. Um,
Well, you know what? It was part of the times, because remember back in late 90s, early 2000s, all that stuff was still, changing. Like, I don't know if you noticed, like, the
What
movies from the
stuff?
90s through the two thousands, like, in terms of, like, the sound CGIs and everything else was changing. Like, it was almost like in a very, what would you call it? Like, fuck, I'm forgetting the word, dude. Volatile, I guess, like, in terms of movies where it's switching technology. So it's, like, kinda
Mhm.
like in between technology where it's like, okay, there's more stuff that they could do in movies, but they still kept
Yeah,
the stuff that's kinda cheesy.
like some of the CGI worked in that scene, and some of it just looked like it looked too cartoonish. Like the agents, and then Neo like spinning
Yeah.
on that the pole
Well,
and then
a
just
good
kicking them.
example is like, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, where they're fighting the troll in the bathroom, and he gets on top
Oh
of the
yeah.
troll's head, and he's getting flung around. You know that's not him. You see the little 3D claymation doll dude going around, you know, and that was part of the times because that's because the technology was still changing. Where it's like, okay, they're slowly getting into the realms of CGI and stuff, but not quite there yet. So we got the whole weird PlayStation 2 characters, with this, the how the models looked,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he
And
escapes because he's getting overwhelmed because he's like, okay, this is only so much I can handle.
if we fast forward a bit in Matrix Reloaded, were there any like fight scenes that really stood out to you? Because there's a few that I can think of that were really cool.
I liked when Neo and them were with the key, the key guy, the
Hmm.
key maker
The
or whatnot,
Keymaker.
and they were heading towards the architect, and
Yeah,
it was that whole fight scene in that hallway, the white hallway with the doors or
yeah, yeah,
whatnot, and the
yeah.
key maker had to open up that one door. Dude, I loved how it was super
It
close
was
quarters
stressful.
intense. Yeah, it was stressful, and I loved how it was close quarters and everything else because they did a fantastic job because it's like so tightly core. They had to do all the fighting and everything else. But I just loved it because it's like, okay, they're in deep shit now and they got
Mhm.
to keep pushing forward. And the keymaker's like, come on, guys, I'm getting the door open here and there. But what made it cool about that fight scene was they didn't get unscathed because the keymaker actually gets shot by one's
Yeah,
fist. Because remember, when they got through the door and do you remember when they jumped and they're like, oh, and the keymaker's still trying to close that door? And you see all those fucking bullets, and he just goes, oh,
yeah.
and you're just like,
Unfortunately,
yeah, like they didn't get unscathed from that, and I'm like, that was cool. I love that fight scene, like in the white hallway.
I I'll say this. There was the freeway scene with Morpheus, Trinity, and then the two
Oh,
ghosts chasing
yeah,
them with the keymaker because they're trying to get him to that hallway eventually. Dude, Morpheus goes up there with like this was a cool scene actually. He
yeah,
goes up there with a Glock. It's probably like the Glock 18, but with the extended mag, and it's the fully automatic one, and he's just like I'm like, dude, that's cool. The Glock doesn't
yeah,
get enough love with the mag, with the extended mag like that in films.
yeah,
So that was pretty cool to see.
yeah.
It was cool, and then there was scenes with Morpheus fighting with the sword, and I'm like, okay, Morpheus with the sword now, cool. Oh, you know what scene sticks with me the most,
Hmm.
actually, is not a fight scene, but I just have to say this because this is early on. And I'm like, is this even a Matrix movie? Like, this is a little weird. It's when we see, like in the beginning, we see Neo and Trinity, um, going into Zion for the first time,
Oh, I know what you're
you
talking about.
know?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then since Mouse is dead, there's a new kid that's looking up to Neo. And okay, what's his name? He doesn't have a name.
BK.
He's just
Oh,
called Kid. That's hilarious.
that's funny.
So, that's what's funny is when Neo and Trinity are in the elevator going down to the dock of Zion. The kid, even in the casting, he doesn't even have a name. He's just called the kid. I think that's hilarious, actually. Um, but he like goes up to Neo and Trinity, and they're trying to like make out and and do shit in the elevator, and he's like cock blocking Neo, and he's like,
Oh
"Oh."
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, what do you want, kid?" And dude, Dude, it's just so funny. I know we said we were going to be talking about Matrix Reloaded, like very
Yeah.
briefly, but it does seem like we are talking about it quite a bit. Let's
Yeah.
just run
Well,
with it.
it just
Let's just
I know,
go with
and
it.
you know what? It just shows like even though it isn't like our top tier movie, it had a lot of info to it and was that's important to the third one, of course.
We have
So
to
yeah.
respect it. Yeah, we
Yeah,
have to
like, and
respect the
that's what we're
second
doing. We're
movie.
giving it its due time, like we're not just going, blow smoke over it like the fourth one of the one who will not be named.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. 100% agreed.
Hmm.
So after the kid is there, Neo and Trinity finally like go to their room, and then we see like Morpheus hang out with some of the elders and the people of Zion, and later on they end up having like a whole like party and
It
dance
was
party.
cool to see that whole area of Zion or whatnot was so neat to see.
The last focus of humanity. These are the people that
Yeah.
drove themselves underground to evade the machines. Like
Hmm.
this is it. This is the rest of
The
humanity.
cave dwellers, pretty much.
The cave
Yeah.
dwellers. Yeah.
Yeah.
We started out as in caves and we ended in caves.
Yeah. We
Only
were.
before, when we were in caves, we were running away from saber-tooth tigers
Yeah.
and creatures like that. And now we're running away from fucking squiddy tentacles, bitches.
We were born
Oh,
from a cave, we got out of the cave, and we went right back in.
oh God. Yet we
Uh,
still strive for the sun.
yeah.
Um, oh,
What
okay.
son?
Yeah, exactly. What sun?
Yeah, what
So,
son?
no, this I don't know. Just that scene was just so weird. It just didn't seem like it belonged in a Matrix movie. Like the dance scene, like the rave scene, and then all of a sudden you see
Yeah.
Neo and Trinity. Like, but then you
Well,
see
because it was that is how because the Matrix was supposed to be so mundane, normal life, but then the actual life was very cultural to how humanity is now. It just that's why it seems so weird.
leading up to when Neo talks to the architect after the keymaker gets them to where they need to go.
Hmm.
Neo finds out that this is the sixth iteration of the Matrix,
Yep.
and Neo finds out the history of everything. And if you wanted to hear that bit, tune into part one of this Matrix discussion. We do a little deep dive in that. Um, but the architect basically implies that this isn't the first time, and this won't be the last. And even if you succeed in resetting this matrix, we'll just make
Hmm.
another one, just like
Yep.
we've done before. We all have our roles. We're all programs within this. There's no escaping that. The only thing that is left for the illusion is choice. That's the only
Yep.
way that this version of the matrix works, is that there is a choice. Eventually the architect tells Neo that um, you still have the choice. Like, you go through this door, you reset the matrix. You go through this
Hmm.
door, it's unknown, but
Yep.
you can save Trinity this way. Because at this point in the film, at this point,
Yes.
Trinity ends up going in back into the matrix because some of the agents are interfering with a mission that they had set up
Yeah.
earlier,
Hmm. Yep.
and Neo does his Superman thing and like flies through. He chooses the door to save Trinity, obviously, but then the architect says that you won't be able to see, you won't see me again. Like, I'm blowing this place up.
Yeah.
This is your last chance. So Neo escapes, flies through, da 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 da, and then gets to. And actually, here's the thing, and we're gonna get into this when we talk about revolutions, but it's the whole warping effect and the rain effect and the CGI behind
Oh,
Neo flying, as he's
yeah.
he's flying so fast that he's leaving like a trail of like debris behind him that's
Yeah.
like
Like
traveling in his
it's Superman quick. Yeah.
split stream. Like, it's so
Yeah.
cool. Trinity is like in this building, and she's going against these agents, starts like shooting her little like mini Uzis.
Oh
As she's like falling out
yeah.
the window, it gets to the point, and
And
this
they're
is like
still And I loved, by the way, when they're still shooting at each other. So he's shooting down at her, she's shooting up, and it is like the coolest fucking thing ever. Just
In
that
slow
moment.
motion, in slow
Yeah.
motion. And not
Yeah.
only that, but we actually understand that this scene with Trinity and the agent is actually Neo's dream from the
Yep.
beginning of the film.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what Neo is trying to prevent.
Yep.
Because like he saw her die in the dream, but he's like, I have a chance to save her. So as like yeah, as Trinity like backflips out of the window and like firing her guns in the air, the agent is just like,
I'm gonna
going
get you,
head
bitch.
down, firing his like deagle at her. And
Yeah.
dude, the animations were pretty cool.
It
Um
was, yeah.
she ends up getting shot, obviously, in the gut. And
Mm-hmm.
then she's like, oh. But unlike in
But
the dream, where
Neo,
Trinity falls
yeah.
down and smashes on a car,
Mm-hmm.
Neo saves her last minute. The agent slams on the car. And then Neo carries Trinity to the roof and then does his like Superman thing and like tries to like get the bullet out
Yeah,
and
he
then
he he
grabs
sticks
it.
his hand in her body, takes the bullet, but she flatlines, and the coolest thing is, and I love how they did it, where
Yep.
they made
Yep.
her body materialize into what the Matrix looks like, and it, like,
You just saw
fucking
coding. Yeah.
yeah,
You just saw
coding, and you
coding.
see the coding as she gets revived, and I thought that was fucking cool.
It was pretty
Like,
cool.
I don't
It
know,
was pretty
it
cool.
was neat. It was fucking cool.
Um, so once Neo saves Trinity, obviously they embrace. It's a touching moment. After
Now it's
that,
like, "Hey, we need to get the fuck out."
exactly. So once they exit the Matrix, they understand that Squiddies are, on their position,
Oh, yeah.
where the ships are like parked, right?
Yep.
And and then meanwhile, Agent Smith sees an opportunity with from another ship that's jacked into the Matrix with a few people. Bane from the ship, I believe.
Caduceus? Caduceus?
No, Caduceus. That's what it is.
Okay.
Um, he's has like a message from the Oracle, and Bane is trying to get back to Zion to deliver this message. And it's really important that he gets this message
Yeah.
through.
So obviously he gets to kind of unplug through the phone, right? And
Mhm.
that's when he finally meets Bane in the ship. So he's now Smith is, not only was he a fucking tremendous bully in the Matrix, now he's on the outside for the first time, and we're just kind of, it's almost kind of like a oh shit moment, and you're just like, okay, this is kind of fucking freaky, right? But then that's when Bane gets assimilated by Smith, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was like, okay, he means business, because, and the thing is, by simulating Bane, he could just kind of fit in without being kind of sus a little bit, because he knows it's like, okay, I can't just be this random dude that no one's seen from the ship, because everyone knows each other from the ships, right? So Smith
Right.
has to play his cards. So he's like, okay, I'm out now, but your ass is mine. So Bane, RIP.
This really like I don't know how important Bane's character was earlier. I don't think a lot of shipmates really liked him in the beginning.
No,
Um,
he was rough around the edges, I believe.
but yeah, at the end of Matrix Reloaded, uh, Bane is now linked with Agent Smith, but is in a coma. And
Yep.
as Neo, Trinity are trying to escape from the Squiddies, um, there seems to be because there's too much, right? Isn't there multiple?
Yeah, there's multiple, yeah. The way it worked was their ship was stationed in the tunnels to stay behind so they could reach the Oracle and whatever they needed to
Right.
do.
Yeah, they had to go to
Well, the other
reception
ship,
area.
yeah, well, the other ships went back to, the colony pretty much. Like they made sure keep one ship they could use, but that's when it's like, oh shit, the signal's coming. They know where we're at. We're kind of fucked, you know. And
To
they're
intercept
totally
them.
fucked. Yeah. Hmm.
So Neo like holds out his hand, and Trinity's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Wait, something's different." and then he does his thing, and
He
then
does
he like
fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi bullshit and goes force push.
force
Come
push,
on.
and then electrifies them, and but
Yeah,
then
it
it was
was
a pretty cool
like
scene.
Emperor Palpatine, but cooler.
Emperor
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu. It's fucking
He
it's
calls
the
Darth
fucking
Maul.
Emperor versus Mace Windu without
Now.
it's like
I know that scene.
dude, Mace
Ah.
Windu,
I
man,
love. By the way, that
his
scene
writing
when
off was
when
terrible. Why'd
I
they
know,
throw him out the window?
I know, but you know what's funny though? I love how Palpatine's like, crappy. He's like,
How are we
hold
like
on.
cross-referencing Star Wars
Well,
in the
because
Matrix right now?
the force pull push thing. Because think about it, he literally puts his hands in the air like he just don't care, and then he goes hoy, fucks him up. But then he's soft, and then he goes comatose.
So this is what's interesting
Hmm.
for the ending of this film because it almost leaves that same sour taste that we have from Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, right? Where the heroes don't win.
Yeah, it's like the heroes don't win, and they're in bad shape, and they still have a shitload to do. But I do
Mhm.
love how Smith is in his own coma right now, while Neo is in a coma. So it's kind of like a mirror of each other, what's going on, and how that sets up for the third movie, which we'll get into
Yep.
in our part 3.
In part three, as it turns out,
Yes.
we had a lot more to discuss about Matrix Reloaded than we
Well, you
originally
know
thought.
what? I just want to say we wanted, even though the second one wasn't our complete favorite, we wanted to give it justice because honestly, all the movies were great. It's just this one wasn't on the top of the list, I feel. But it was just info heavy. That's all
Yeah,
it
it was
was. Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
get it. It's like Harry Potter too. Like the Deathly Hallows Part 1 was a lot of setup, and then 2 was just super quick. I will
hmm.
say they did the movie justice because in the book, spoiler alert for who has never seen Harry
Uh-oh.
Potter. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
This is my
Does he
not my
die?
one thing. Yeah, this is my
Oh.
one bit. Anyways, so I just want to say one thing. Love the Harry Potter books. Love the movies. But the way Voldemort dies in the book was the most anticlimactic thing that I've ever read as, a kid. Because leading up to it, everyone was like, oh, what's going to happen in the final book, blah, 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 blah. You want to know what happened in the book? Here's the line, and it's in memory too, because I still remember it to this day, 19 years later. But there was a flash of light. He was dead. All that line was in the book. He was dead.
Wait,
Like, come
are you
on!
ready?
It
Are you
wasn't like
ready?
he got obliterated or something, or you know how the movies work. It was just he was dead.
Are you ready for this, Nick?
Yeah, I'm ready. What?
Harry Potter, the,
Avada
the boy who lived has come to die.
Oh, speaking of that, I saw a funny video and I want to mention it
What?
here because it's
What?
funny and it has to do with what we just did. There's a reel. People should watch it, by the way. It's the final, it's in the scene where Hogwarts, the battle's going on, like with the trolls and everything's on fire. And you know how they came out with Hogwarts Legacy? The
Yeah.
caption was if Hogwarts Legacy had multiplayer, and all you hear was Avada Kedavra, Avada Kedavra, Avada Kedavra.
That would be though. That would be the case.
Yeah, just fucking
Oh my
killing each
gosh.
other. We need to end this shit before we
Okay, we
start
do
going
need
into
it.
other
Yeah, we do
movies.
need to end this
Yeah.
because we keep going on tangents. So, at
Yes. Hence our name.
where our characters stand, Neo and Bane, aka Agent Smith in disguise, butterflies in the sky. It's reading
The
rainbow.
book.
No, just take a look.
Look
It's
and
in a
read a
book.
book.
Listen, we gotta
What?
go.
I
We're getting
am
way too off
listening.
the rails now. Okay, when we pick up next time, we'll finish out this trilogy with Matrix Revolutions, our
Yes.
favorite,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, stay tuned for geekiness
Oh,
because
yeah.
there's a lot of scenes that I definitely want to cover in that, and I'm looking forward to it. But
There's a lot of scenes that tickle our fancy.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I will say that, but the way that this movie ends is a very great way to end this
Yes.
movie, especially knowing that the finale will be 5 months away. We
Oh, yeah.
don't get that anymore.
Nah,
We
we
have to
don't.
wait. Think of fucking Spider-Man across Beyond the Universe. How long have we been waiting for
Oh,
how
did
long
you
have we been
hear?
waiting for that one?
Dude, you want to hear? They said it won't come out until probably after 2027 now.
Bro, they haven't even started voice casting yet. They haven't done any line
Yeah.
readings. I'm pissed.
Same.
I loved that second movie and just the fact that, like, God bless you, sir. Is that our first sneeze on
No,
the show?
dude,
Is that
I
our
was
first sneeze on the show? I'm out. We gotta go. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Till next time.
Till next time, take care.